After rising to the occasion in Turin, it was right back down to earth at the Reboleira. We recap both the Juventus game and the Estrela Amadora game. We catch you up on the winter transfer window, and we'll look ahead to Benfica's next two games, Moreirense and Monaco. That and much more in another night, another podcast.
Hasta que no estás aquí dentro no sabes la grandeza de este equipo.
Quero o Benfica intimidar o adversário. Quero o manto sagrado entrar com vocês em qualquer estádio. E esses estádios, pá! É isso que eu quero!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Talking to the Doll Benfica podcast. My name is Alfredo Fumacic. Here we are. Another night, another podcast. Benfica podcast, episode 550. What we're serving up tonight. With me, as always, Cristiano Oliveira. What's happening, Chris?
Alfredinho, what's up, meu amigo?
Nothing much, man. Dave couldn't be here with us tonight.
I thought you couldn't hear me real quick.
I could hear you.
Yeah, Dave's probably at the Knicks Raptors game. I don't know, watching my Knicks spank his Raptors.
No, Dave told me he wasn't feeling too well. He felt like he was coming down with a cold. He must have caught that somewhere across the border. I don't know.
Oh, damn. Well, Dave, get well soon, brother. I need you back here so I can talk less.
That's right. Hello, Freddies. Welcome.
Oh, that's right. The Freddy. Smash the like button.
That's
Welcome,
right.
Freddy.
Brunjil.
Sim, eu tô focused no David que I forgot about the Freddy.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Brunjil Rodrigues, Diogo Reis, Logan Muniz, Josh Almeida. Who else is here? Manuel da Cunha, Melgacious, Fabs, DJ Natural Fire, Manny Villadel. It looks like the gang is all here. Welcome, everyone. Another night, another podcast, another Tuesday night. Beautiful Tuesday night here. And what do we got? We got a Benfica that's I don't know. I don't know what to expect from this team anymore.
Put amor de Deus up. What do you got to complain about now, bro?
I know.
Come on. We're actually winning games and you complain.
You're winning games, winning games. Winning games, you're winning games.
It's not many podcasts that we do where we get two games, especially a Champions League game.
Two back-to-back.
And then, no, but I'm saying get a Champions League game and another game we get two victories. So what do you got to complain about? This week is pleasant. This week is a good podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Chris, I guess I just got spoiled whenever we used to watch Benfica back in the day. That was nice and relaxing.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, bro. They didn't even have flat screens yet.
That the question was, how many are we going to win by today? That was the question. Not, not Auschwitz getting a yellow card for delaying game against Estrela da Amadora, who is like in 14th or 15th place, whatever they're at. But, that's the Benfica that we have. The like Manuel da Cunha says, we got a Benfica that's bipolar.
100%.
And yes, we are winning. Imagine if we weren't.
Exactly. And let's talk about the good time. Listen, we just run down the games because I'm pretty sure what everybody's tuning into is to listen to our thoughts on the players that exited and the players that came in.
Yeah.
But, we got to talk about this game.
Yeah, we definitely do. All right, so let's get right into the Juventus game. Benfica traveled to Turin in Italy to play Juventus in the last game of the not group stage, but the what do you call those stages? The
league phase of the Champions League.
The league phase of the Champions League to play with all to play for. Tie is what we needed. I believe that last week I said here that it wouldn't surprise me if Benfica played well, because we've seen Lage pull games like this. We've seen Lage Athletic Madrid already this season. We've seen Lage in other European nights pull the team. He's a guy that sets up the team pretty well. So I wasn't.
Depends the game. Peraí, tem calma. Também.
I didn't have the same feeling that I had going into the Bayern game. Let's just say that.
No, absolutely not. But we both did say my prediction was 1-1. I believe yours is a 1-1 draw as well.
Yeah.
And look, Benfica played better than a 1-1 draw. Obviously, they got a came away with a 2-0 victory. Surprised us all. Benfica went out there, handled their business, and but like guys have said here on the chat so far,
Yeah.
Benfica against Juve is a different beast. I believe in 9 games against Juve all time, Benfica is 7-1-1. So this is a team that, for one reason or another, Benfica matches up against well. They got their number. The confidence is high, and you know that plays in their locker room as well. Like no matter what we do on the road, at home, we can't seem to beat these guys. And Benfica was able to take advantage of that going into Torino, doing what they had to do. Well played. I mean,
Yeah.
there were some hiccups there, but at the same time, Benfica did what they had to do, got the goal, defended well, were able to come out, and I mean, one of the best goals of the season for Benfica in terms of possession and
Yeah.
touches. I believe it was like 22 touches. Credit to them, credit to the boys. And look, when I come on here and I say we're gonna lose or we're gonna draw, whatever the case may be, I'm not rooting for that to happen. I'm obviously rooting for Benfica to come up with the W, and that's precisely what they did.
Yeah.
Juventus had a little bit of pressure on this side if they wanted to come out as one of the top 8 teams. Obviously, that didn't pan out for them. Benfica did, as I said before, what they had to do, came away with the victory. Benfica just needed a draw, and in the worst case scenario, they needed, they could have lost, right? And depending on other results, and still gone through. But good thing they won, because the other results that they would have needed to go through with a loss, they went the other way. So had Benfica lost this game, they wouldn't have been able to go through.
Yeah.
So credit to them. They handled their business. Say, you know what? Forget all this nervous stuff. We're just gonna get the 3 points here and put everybody to rest.
Yeah, and the 11th, I know Cristiano basically já passou pincel pelo jogo, but I know that the 11 wasn't too far from where we expected. The only difference was really Ba, in the absence of Carreras, who was doing a one-game suspension after picking up accumulated yellow cards. Ba was on the left, and I don't know. I think we thought here
we all predicted
there was Auschwitz, right?
Freddie, yeah, it'd be Auschwitz on the left, but they surprised us. They pulled a quick one on us, and credit to Ba, who for the most part shut down a tricky player in Conceição.
Yeah.
And so credit to Lodge. I don't know whose idea it was.
Yeah.
To put Ba there. I don't know if Ba asked or else to sit down better on the right. But whatever the decision, whoever made the decision made the right one.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was really to be able to have somebody that could keep up with Conceição and could come inside when needed. So I thought that was possibly the idea behind it, rather than Auschwitz. Auschwitz is not really known for his speed, as a guy that positions himself well. But when you go one-on-one with him, it's easier to blow by him, while Ba gives you a little bit more combativeness and can keep up with the speed. So I believe that was an idea. But a fast pace, the start of the game. I remember Trubin made that one save, and I was like, oh no, here we go.
Kevin Martins is not being nice right now.
Is Kevin Martins Canadian?
I don't know what he is, but whatever he is not nice. He says, it's just for those of you that are listening, don't have the opportunity to look at the chat. Kevin Martins says, boys, they had an American as the captain. What did you expect?
Weston McKennie is not a bad player, man.
I take Weston McKennie at Benfica in a heartbeat.
Yeah, Weston McKinney is a good player, man.
He's a baller, and look, credit to him. He was playing out of position. This is a bona fide midfielder, was playing as a left back, outside left, whichever system was playing. He's playing on the basically as a left wing back, and so credit to him for adapting. He had a decent game, but they just, I don't know what it is. They struggle against Benfica, and they've had these struggles with American captains or not. So Kevin Martins, be nice, because if you're Canadian, I'm gonna send Trump after you. All right? Stop it.
Yeah, and then I thought the team went into the game pretty loose. I think that they, unlike other games where we've kind of been trying to play for the result. I thought the team went after the result, and I think that as they grew more confident in the way they were playing, the way they were passing the ball, the way they were getting out of the Juventus pressure, high press, I thought that the team gained a little bit of momentum, and then you had that goal by Pavlidis in the 16th minute, and I think that just fueled what the team was feeling at the moment. Pavlidis from Ba assist. It was his fourth goal in 2 games in the Champions League, and and then the team was just on. I thought they had a really good first half, and especially because I think they didn't behave like a smaller team playing against Juventus, which could always be something that works against us. But I thought the team had a good approach. They just went and played to the best of their abilities. But I thought that the second half, there was a period of the second half where Juventus was better, obviously, in the second and playing in their home stadium and coming after the result. But Benfica, I thought Benfica was solid in defense.
Yeah, Benfica came out to playoff for. If my correct me if I'm wrong, right? Pavlidis, I think it was Pavlidis, he almost or Di Maria, whatever, one of those guys almost scored right in the first play of the game as we brought
Yeah,
the first
Pavlidis.
attack down. Yeah, Pavlidis and Benfica. Yeah, Benfica came out to play, and as you said before, it's it's impressive, or some people could say shocking what Benfica could do when they come out with a I don't want to call it offensive minded lineup, but not a defensive minded lineup. One of those that we saw in Bayern
For
Munich.
sure.
And Benfica came out. They played their game. They didn't come in, as I often say here, when we play Sporting and Porto and stuff. I often say every time we play one of our big opponents, we're the ones that are adjusting to them. We're the ones that are changing. For David Luiz at left back. You know what I'm trying to say? This type of shit.
Yeah.
And Benfica against a big team. I understand it's not the Juve of old, but still a solid team, a very good team. Benfica didn't budge. Benfica said, "Look, we're going to play our game. We're going to play our players, our formation, our tactical
Yeah.
system, and you like it or not." And it showed balls. And look what happens.
Yeah.
Look what happens when they do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I thought that was the big difference because there's players on this team that could play. I think that at this point we have a not too big of an identity, but a little bit of an identity, and the thing is also that I feel that a lot of these players, they rise up to play in the biggest stage of European competition. Just like the Mancos teams rise up to play against Benfica in the Portuguese league, I think Benfica rises up to the occasion. I think that there doesn't need to be any motivation throughout the week. I think the players are very conscious in what they need to do, and once that Champions League anthem goes on, I mean, if you're not getting the chills as a player on the field, getting ready to play with all eyes on you. I don't know what else could you need to motivate you, but certainly a good showing by Benfica, and I think that it's nights like these, and especially away nights. And by the way, let me just say something. Watching a game, and I had a chance to rewatch the game again over the last couple days. You could hear very clearly the Benfica contingent, and that's really nice. And there's really never a lack of support when Benfica goes outside. While Juventus fans or continue to be suspicious of Thiago Motta and of this team and what this team can do, I thought that the Benfica contingent was well heard. They were loud. So yeah, it's just coming out and playing, and like I said, it's nights like these in which Benfiquistas all around the world, especially us immigrants that are proud of our team, I should say, and look, Benfica walks away with the result. Ends up being a seeded team, right, Chris? In the draw. No, I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they wound up being. It's not a seeded team. What happens is they. What do I how do I put? They seed them based on obviously on their finishing position in the table. And so 8 and 9 will go into a draw with 24 and 23. 10-11 is 22-21, and then it comes down like that. So they can only face two teams.
Yeah.
So they seed them based on finishing position.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a reseeding, like number one plays number 16 in this case,
Right.
right? Except the only difference is number one or number two go to a draw and they could play number 16 or 15.
Yeah. No,
That's basically what and then vice versa. And it just trickles down all the way down until, the 15, 16, whatever.
yeah, no, look, absolutely. And it was either Monaco after Benfica winning, obviously, and Dave's not here for stats, so I'm not going to call out the stats, obviously, like last time. But it was either Brest or Monaco.
Or Monaco. And then on the other side was either Benfica or PSG.
Correct. So it was always going to be a French team. Monaco. I would have rather have gotten Monaco, to be honest with you. Not Monaco, Brest, to be honest with you, because
Everybody loves Brest. The French team. The French.
Yeah, but the thing is that we have already played Monaco, and to be honest with you, we got out of Monaco
By the skin
by
of our
the
teeth.
skin of our
Just say.
teeth, by the skin of our teeth, man. So I think that in uncovering a little bit of the curtain with the Monaco game, I think that Monaco is gonna have it in it for us because they really felt they were hard down. They were hard done. They were down a man. This is where I wanted to go. They were down a man. They were up.
And they protested that big time.
And
because
they did protest
that,
big
I
time.
don't know if it was Tino or Ba, one
Or
of them kept fouling.
Carreras.
Or Carreras, might have been Carreras. They felt Carreras. Yeah, exactly, Carreras. Carreras should have gotten a red. Instead, they get a red. And then, they trail. So, yeah, the things did not go according to plan for them.
Yeah, but look, an important win, and we continue, and most importantly, it's that Champions League money, man. That's what's going on there. That's what's up. So the first league stage of the new format of the Champions League is done. Benfica was able to qualify. We were a little sketchy at one point whether we were going to make it or not, but everything ended up all right, and we took charge of our destiny, and I think that's the best way that you could do things. Shifting gears now, we're back in action for the Portuguese league against Estrela da Amadora on Sunday. A short ride from Estádio da Luz to Amadora to play Estrela there, and again another odd game where we got two weird goals right in the beginning, and then I think the team just went to sleep a little bit. I'll give you the lineup and we'll get started in terms of discussing this game. Trubin, Araújo, Silva, Otamendi, and Carreras. Manu made his debut. Auschness and Kokshu were his partners in the midfield. Then you got Di Maria, Narturkoglu, and up top Pavlidis. Chris, let me ask you this. I don't know how much attention you paid to the game, but what'd you think of Manu?
Bro, no surprises with Manu. I think we all knew that he knows how to treat a ball, and so that's exactly what we seen from him. I thought he was a little bit nervous first couple of minutes until he settled down, and then he just played his game. Really like his potential, really excited to see what the future brings for him. But it's a game that he really didn't have much pressure in terms of having to defend. Though I know, Stidham scored 2 goals, but Benfica was never really under heavy pressure. So that's the only thing I need to see from him. Because that's one thing that Tino can do is defend. He's brilliant at that. I mean, he had a magnificent game on the defensive side of the ball in Torino, and we just need to see if this kid could put that together. If he could put that together, I think Benfica have just found themselves a guy that's going to be a key member of this team for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, 6 minutes in, dead ball situation for Benfica, which Benfica hasn't scored a lot this year. A header by Pavlidis finding Otamendi in a far corner and a far post. Otamendi putting a foot to the ball. Ball crossed the line. Keeper took it out. Initially, it wasn't called a goal, and then they went to VAR, and VAR validated the goal. I don't understand how you have VAR and you don't have goal line technology. Well, if you don't have goal
Yeah,
line
which
technology, at least have goal line camera.
that's so. I mean, it's so Mickey Mouse. It's so Mickey Mouse. Goal line technology should be basics. Should be one of the basic things that it's an easy system to adapt to. I just don't understand how a league that wants to call themselves, wants to be in a competition, wants to be in a conversation as one of the top 5 leagues in the world can't even implement such a basic what's the word? Such a basic
Technology.
system. Technology. Yeah, it's just a basic technology into the game, which makes it everything so simple, especially in Portuguese football. I think if any league in the world needs these types of technologies, right, and system, VAR and go like that, it's the Portuguese league because
Yeah.
everybody and their mother questions this for the next freaking 6 months.
Yeah.
If did the ball go in? Did the ball? It's just like, bro, nobody trusts the referees in Portugal. They need to do everything they can just to squash that noise outside
No,
the four
and
lines.
if you don't have the goal line technology, put a camera on the goal line so you could get a replay and you get the right angle. That's it. That's all you have to do. If you don't want to spend on a goal line technology, put that together. But anyway, so 10 minutes in and Benfica's up 2-0. Then in a 28th minute, off of a Otamendi deflection, Estrela Amadora would claw one back, but Benfica would close out the half with a goal by Pavlidis, this time off of a Manu assist. Manu getting his first assist on his debut, and Pavlidis shot a rope. That's probably one of the nicest goals I've seen him score for Benfica, and put Benfica up 3-1 in the 34th minute. Artur Koglu had a chance to put Benfica, or to take Benfica to the locker room with the 4-1 advantage, but he missed the lob over the keeper, hit the top of the
Ferro hooked
bar.
him up.
Yep.
Ferro hooked him up, and then he passed it back to Ferro. He hit the Ferro again. It's just that. Come on, you can't make a mistake like that. You have an opportunity to ice the game, and
Yep.
we talked about this on a few weeks ago. Every time Benfica has an opportunity to ice the game and have a nice weekend, they figure out a way to stumble, and figure out a way to mess things up and get in their own path. And then a few minutes later, you get a brilliant assist, if you want to call it an assist, from Pavlidis going back the other way, which I just don't understand why this team just has a hard time um closing games and icing games. To me, Alfredo, Benfica had an easier time closing out a game in Torino than they did against Real Maduro, believe it or not.
Yeah. In the second half, it just seemed that we came out completely disconnected, even despite winning 3-1. And we already had seen signs later in the first half that things weren't really. We didn't have the possession. It was hard to string passes together. We just can't put the game on ice. And then right in the beginning of the second half, Trubin, which is, he's coming off that Rafinha bounce off of his head and into the goal, and he hits another ball into the middle when the team is wide open in his position to come out of the back through the sides, hits a ball in the middle, and then the team is just caught very open.
But that to me,
2-3.
Alfredo, that looks like a play that they practice. I don't think that was just something.
Yeah, but if the option is not there, Chris, there's always a plan B.
I think there was an option. I just think that Pavlidis has brick feet, and I think our defense was. I don't know where the hell they were at, but I don't think they were at that game because our center backs spread like Moses when he spread the sea over there. You know what I mean? It's pathetic. How there's nobody within freaking 10 yards of the center of the field. I don't understand what the hell Otamendi and Antonio Silva were doing. That to me was just that was horrible execution from the team overall. I think Pavlidis could have done better, and I think our defense was nowhere to be seen. I just think it's these dumb goals, this lack of a focus. I don't know what it is, but we just can't capitalize when we should.
Yeah. No, uh, you're right. And then the rest of the game was, was suffering for Benfica fans. Because just Benfica just couldn't put it on ice. Couple substitutions. Barreiro came in for Kokshu in the 69th minute. Sheldrup came in for Di Maria. I still don't understand why Sheldrup, in the moment of form that he is, doesn't start. If he's trying to manage him, why doesn't he manage Di Maria in the same way? I mean, I don't know. Di Maria is much older, but it's just weird things sometimes that I can't understand. Things that make you say, and then in the 80th minute, Amdouni came in for Turkoglu. Cabral came in for Pavlidis. Cabral, who seems to have played this last game for Benfica, was given a penalty to take. I don't believe Cabral is a designated PK taker.
I don't know, Alfredo. I think he's one of.
He's one of.
He's one of. Yeah, because
Kokshu wasn't there.
First.
Who else? Di Maria wasn't there.
PK, Di Maria, but it's not even that. Even when those guys have been on the field, we've seen them take PKs. If we recall, I could have sworn last year at home, I think he missed two in the same game. I know he definitely missed one, and he had another. I think he missed two. Yeah. So this is not the first penalty I've seen Cabral take. I actually do. I had this conversation with Hugo. I actually do think that he's one of the guys that's assigned to take penalties. And look, and if he's not, it was one of those. Laura, thank you for all you've done. Hopefully, this is the last game you play for us, but you can't do that, man. You have an opportunity, as I said 10 times here so far, to ice the game, put the game to bed, send everybody home early. And at that time, at that moment, there is no room, no time for parting gifts. Right. You have to get the ball in the back of the net, 2-goal lead, and now you're breathing a little bit more. Now, if you had another penalty after, go ahead, come out, here you go. But at that moment, the most important thing, rather than playing nice, is to make sure you capitalize and you walk away with the 3 points rather than suffering and potentially even dropping points.
Yeah, but it was an ugly half by Benfica. Completely disconnected, without the ability to ice the game, as I mentioned, and allowing Estrela da Amadora to believe. And that's what they did, despite all their shortcomings and all the things that they lack. It just annoys me to no end when Benfica allows these teams back in a game and gives them a reason to believe, and then all of a sudden we're defending a team against a team that's in 16th place. I don't know. I just don't get it. It just doesn't match up with the Benfica that I know.
Yeah, but this goes back to what I said weeks ago, man. Like, we could all sit here and try to point the fingers at our coaching staff and whatnot, but the players, as you mentioned, Artur Kugel had an opportunity to ice the game. Cabral missed like, it's just a matter of getting these chances in the back of the net, and how you make things more simple. Make things a lot easier. And as I said before, it's a nice weekend walk. And instead, we have to sit there and suffer because of our inefficiency on the offensive end.
Yeah, absolutely. But look, at the end of the day, we get the 3 points, and it was an important 3 points to get, right? Because you have you're right after a European game.
Sporting had already won. Won. So you
after
gotta
European
get
game,
the 3 points.
Yeah, after European game, there's always a bit of a hangover, if you will, from European game. You got the Sporting who already won, so you couldn't afford to miss any points, and you got a Clásico coming up this weekend, where you could stand a chance to gain points on either one of your direct rivals from this game. So it was important to be able to get the win, and Benfica did get the win, but it wasn't the prettiest win. Yeah. So now what do we got? We got Moreirense, and we'll get to that in a little bit. We'll get to it now, and then we'll talk about the winter transfer window. Moreirense started to lose on Saturday, 6 p.m. local. Moreirense is currently in 11th place, 6 wins, 9 losses, 5 ties. They have last 8 games without a win, 62 days without a win, only 1 win away from Moreira de Cónegos this season so far. So, an easy game for Benfica, and especially playing after the Clásico, you need to know what you need to do. That's simple.
Now you need to know.
You need to know.
You're gonna know what you need to know.
You're gonna know what you need to do.
Know. Look. I've been doing this podcast here with you for years now, over a decade or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Okay, and every time you ask me, in particular against these smaller teams and at home, and you say, Chris, what are your thoughts on this weekend? And bro, my line never changes, man. I think I've been repeating the same shit. Bro, it's a team that Benfica has no business losing to. It's a team that Benfica needs to impose their home field advantage, impose their superiority in on the roster and players. Bro, just this is a game that Benfica should win. I understand. I think we lost, right? We lost on the road to them, right? If I'm correct.
I don't know if I don't.
Yeah, we lost. Yeah, we lost to them. Yeah, that was the game that I think Schmidt got fired after that, if I'm not mistaken. I'm getting old, bro. My memory's going, but I'm pretty sure that's what
remember,
it was.
but I'm gonna be able to tell you in a little bit.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out. I think we lost to them. But that being said, this is at home. They're coming off a high, 2 straight victories. The crowd's gonna be behind us. Hopefully, believe I'm gonna say this out loud, but I hope Porto wins. You know what I mean? First time I'm rooting for Porto to win. And then all of a sudden Benfica handles their business at home, and then the Campeonato will be back, under their control in terms of Benfica depending on themselves. Go out, beat Sporting, second to last game of the season. Don't drop any more points. Beat Sporting second to last game of the season, and now you control your own destiny.
Yeah.
So, as I've said many, 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 many times, em casa é chapada 3-0.
Yeah.
Shout out. That's what Benfica should always do against these weaker opponents in the Portuguese league. It's at home. Absolutely no excuses. You could understand tripping up on the road, but at home, crowd behind you, pressure of maintaining. Even if Sporting wins, Benfica has to win because they have to stay within striking distance. Absolutely no excuse if Benfica drops any points at the side of lose on Saturday. Hopefully, some of the reforzos, I know we're going to get into that in a second, will play, will be options off the bench or whatever it is, add more quality to this team. Let's see what happens. But Benfica has to attack this game right from the first minute, like they did in Torino. Go out there, step on their throat, do what you got to do. Finish off some of the chances because you're going to get plenty of chances, hopefully, right? You're going to get some chances. Don't let this shit drag on to where you're suffering there towards the end.
Yeah, the first round 1-1. And the tying goal from Benfica.
No, it was 1-1.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought we lost.
The tying goal from Benfica came in at 90+7 off of Marcos Leonardo. Lineup,
Ooh.
I'll give Marcos Leonardo.
Tu estás fudido, bro.
Tô fudido. Então vê lá isso.
Marcos Leonardo, wait, Leonardo was still at Benfica?
Yep.
At the time? Okay. Okay, I was going to say he left, but okay, that must have been right before he left.
Marcos Leonardo was the penalty taker. It was a penalty, 90+7. I'll give you the lineup so we could do a little bit of reminiscing. Trubin, Carreras, Otamendi, Silva, and Ba. Barreiro and Tino. Kokshu, Prestiani, Di Maria, and Pavlidis. Those were the days.
Those were the days. But I believe, I wish Dave was here, because I believe that was the last game for Schmidt. No,
yeah, I think so.
Bro, when I was younger, I used to remember all the details and dumb
I
shit.
think that was
now I don't anymore.
That was the game, dude. I think that was the game. I'll tell you right now. The next game was Benfica Santa Clara, and I'll tell you right now because I think that Laje's first game was against Santa Clara, which is the game right after that.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. So
you got to read some of these comments from the Freddies, by the way. This guy Kevin, I don't remember him, but he's a comedian. I like this guy. He's trying to. He gets the Freddies talking. Uncle Rico, I think I know who it is based on his FM comments, but I don't know why he changed his name. That wasn't his name before.
It's okay. People are allowed to change their names.
No, not this guy. I grew up with him, not him.
I'm having a hard time catching up with all the comments, man.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I see that they're active.
There's one comment here in particular that piqued my interest, which is Kevin Martin says, "Hey, Chris, your boy Rollheiser isn't working out." I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know where he's referring. I don't think I've ever said Rollheiser was my boy. I don't. I think I'm one of the few guys that said publicly that Rollheiser, Cristiani, and same thing with Shaldru. They had to show more when they got on the field in order to get their opportunities. When everybody was calling out for these guys to play, and I said I get it, but when they get on the field, they need to show. And Shaldru finally started doing that. Now you can call it, finally getting a quality chance, quality opportunity. I call it he finally went into the field and, like we like to say in Portuguese, comeu a relva, and he
Yeah.
proved that he belongs. And when these guys come on the field and they just want to jog around for 10,
Yeah.
15 minutes, that might be the only opportunity you get. And I think, as I've said to you before, and Kevin, go back about a month ago, month and a half ago, I was on here talking about guys not playing at Benfica because of intensity. And I think Cristiani is a perfect example of that. A guy who's got a beautiful left foot, guy that treats the ball well, as I said before regarding Manu. But unfortunately, in today's football, it's about intensity, and
Yeah.
he doesn't show much of it when he plays. So I don't know what he's referencing to, my boy.
Yeah. I
But
I
hey,
I think that Rollheiser, there's definitely an element off the pitch that we're not seeing. And when I say off the pitch, I don't mean a discoteca but in the training ground, right? Because I don't know. I mean, when you watch Rollheiser play and you watch Prestiani play, but Rollheiser specifically, because I haven't seen Prestiani in a long time, Rollheiser could play. He's got feet. But there's something missing there, and we all know that Lage is about giving the opportunities to guys that are working hard. So if Rollheiser's not getting the opportunities, or if Rollheiser's not getting the looks, something is obviously going on there in terms of whether it's his work ethic, whether in terms of his listening to Lage or following instructions. I just don't know, because I can't honestly say that Rollheiser is a bad player, like I could say about Cabaret, like I could say about Barreiros. I think he's a good player.
Barreiro shocked us. Barreiro scored a hat trick. Barreiro's coming on, bro.
For this.
He's not a superstar, but Barreiro's doing his thing. And look, in terms of you talk about Cabaret, bro. We saw Cabaret play 6 minutes, man. How the hell he was shitting his pants?
Not
over
good,
there
bro.
in,
Not good.
He's shitting his pants in Serbia, bro. But for Rollheiser, the one thing, and again, I have these conversations with Hugo because Hugo loves the kid, but he's a pain in the ass. He wants to talk about shit that we talked about like 8 months ago, and he wants to rehash it. And Rollheiser is a guy, as we all know, it's fucking confusing, right? Because when Benfica bought him, his club wanted him to stay in Argentina and finish out the season for an additional 6 months, and then he joined Benfica in the summer. Benfica like, no, 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 no. We'll pay you an extra 500,000. We want him now, only to sit him on the bench and never play him. It makes no sense. And then the other part, to me, I don't know you, Freddie's. I mean, guys, go ahead. Please let us know your thought process. I don't know if we'll read it, but we'll try, because Alfredo's got a lot on his mind over there. He's got to run the podcast after all. But the one thing that's confusing regarding Rollheiser was when he joined Benfica, if you guys recall, and again, unless my memory is really going, but he came in as a winger, right?
Yeah,
he's going to be a guy that was going to play on the wings, and then all of a sudden, you never see him on the wings. He's just playing in the middle. So it's a totally different game in the middle than it is on the wings. His skill set, like as we both sit here, he's very skillful. His skill set maybe is better suited to take guys one-on-one and create in the final third, as opposed to being a guy in the middle has to defend and attack and control the ball and spread the ball out. I just don't understand, but he definitely doesn't seem like, and there's very rare opportunities to have that intensity that not just Lage, but coaches around the world all love today. They take guys with intensity over skillful guys.
Yeah.
And so unless he changes that, man, I think it's going to be tough.
Yeah, so obviously something is going on there that I don't think has anything to do with his value, because he's got a market. Teams are interested in him. What else? And then we have Monaco, which is Wednesday 8 p.m. I already mentioned that Monaco is going to want to get one on us. We go to the Principality to play the first game Wednesday, and I think that a week after we're back in Lisbon to finish that out. Both teams finished the league stage with the same record: 4 wins, 1 tie, 3 losses. For Benfica, what I see is an opportunity to correct the mistakes, because you didn't play well. You didn't play well in that game. Cabral saved our asses. But yeah, I think that if I look at this Benfica team as a team that's a little bit more mature, but that maturity also comes at times, and we never know when that time is going to be. I'm just hoping that it's going to be a much different game for Benfica, and obviously over 2 legs. It's something that Benfica has a little bit more control of, and especially with the second leg being in Lisbon. But what you want to do is you don't want to open yourself too much in France or in the Principality, and then having to chase the result in Lisbon. So I think that Benfica will be at the level needed to get past Monaco. And despite Monaco having a good team and haven't been having a good season, I think that Benfica has enough to get past Monaco. So we'll see. Chris, what are your thoughts?
Man, I was hoping you skipped that. Right now, I think Monaco, as they showed in their first game, they're a very dangerous team. They have some brilliant footballers. And they could obviously, score. They could obviously impose themselves on Benfica and come away with in advance with the eliminatoria. I don't know how to say that shit in English. Mexico eliminatoria.
Fixture.
But again, Benfica, we never know what Benfica is going to show up. If it's the Benfica that showed up in Turin against Barcelona at home, even though they lost, but we all know why they lost. If it's that Benfica, then yeah, I think Benfica has a really good chance of going through. But if it's the Benfica we've seen for the most part of the season in other games, I think it's going to be very tough for Benfica to get through. I do think that they have some fantastic young players, man, that given those opportunities that Benfica is giving up, and example against like Strela, against teams in the Portuguese, they're not going to miss that.
No,
They'll make it count. And so if Benfica doesn't take advantage of the opportunities that they get, it's going to be a very, very long 90 minutes. And then obviously multiply that times 2 if Benfica is not able to do what they need to do and take advantage of the opportunities that they get, because they do create chances. We've seen in the last few games where Benfica's creating plenty of chances. It's just we need to be I'm trying to think of the word in Portuguese. We need to be more efficient. I couldn't think of it in Portuguese, thought of it in English. Benfica needs to be a lot more efficient with a team like Monaco.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna have plenty of chances themselves.
Yeah, and Ivan's saying here we have been so inconsistent, but we have been showing up against tough teams. Yeah, I mean, I think now that we've had a look at Monaco, maybe we'll put Monaco in that category, because the first time around, I don't think that we approached that game too well. It was kind of sloppy on our end. But anyway, now for what people have been expecting it, the winter transfer window. Benfica quite active in the last day of the transfer window. We had brought in Manu, which already debuted, and then Boletti from Como for forward. Dal as a left back came from I think it's a loan from Roma with the option to buy, if I'm not mistaken.
Roma.
And then we picked up Bruma for the left wing for $6 million from Braga. 6.5 from Braga, which is a move that I don't quite understand, but Chris understands it very well. Chris, talking about Boletti, man, it's a guy that's obviously has had some prime years. He's a guy that's getting long in the tooth. Has had some troubles with injuries. Hasn't been at his best in the past season and a half. What are your
Season and a half. It's been more like 4 seasons, unfortunately.
what do you connects
It's
telling
been
you
a
about
while.
Belletti?
Belotti.
Bellotti.
First you gotta get the guy's name
Bellotti.
right. Belotti.
Bellotti.
Bro, Belotti, bro. Belotti's a player that once upon a time was very heavily followed by big European teams. So much so that Torino would ask 100 million for the guy. The guy was a part of Italy's 2021 European Euro winning team. I mean, this is a player that is right now like really confusing many people around the world because he's a good player. He's a player that is played at a very high level at one point or another, but for some reason has lost his scoring touch. While he was at Torino, the guy could score from anywhere on the field, many nights, many afternoons, carrying the team on his back. But the last 4 years, he has gone into a funk. He's been at Roma, he's now at Como, and he just can't seem to find the back of the net. Now, all that being said, as confusing as everything is, he is coming to the Premier League in Portugal. He's not exactly joining the Premier League in England. And so I won't be surprised if he score like 5 goals in 10 games. He does something like that. Obviously, it's a lot higher than what he's done in the last highlight. Obviously scoring a goal every 9 games, I believe. I spoke to Matteo, that does the play by play for CBS. He does the Matteo Bonetti. He's the analyst on the CBS Paramount, whatever, they cover the La Liga. So he's the main guy over the main analyst for the network. And I asked him his thoughts, and his thoughts precisely were uh ever since he left Torino, he stopped scoring. He scores like 1 goal every 9 games. He's very hardworking. When he was on form, he'd score in every way possible, but now he's been years doing nothing. Um, that's a guy that watches him play with regularity, calls all his games and stuff like that. So it's very concerning. I don't quite understand the his acquisition, even though he's on loan for 6 months. And the reason why I don't understand it is not a knock on the player. It's more of what are you doing bringing in another striker unless Artur Cabral leaves. And there's still a chance he leaves. Obviously, different different countries transfer window closes at different times. You got the MLS, who is rumored to be joining Atlanta United a while back, and they decided to shift gears and they bought someone else from Middlesbrough because he kept stalling. Benfica had apparently agreed to terms, but he didn't want to make the move, and they kept offering more money, and he'd say yes, then he'd say no. So they decided to turn away. So the MLS is still a very good possibility for him, and the same thing with Rollheiser. Those are two players that I think Lodge has said that he doesn't count on them. He's totally fine if they both leave. Obviously Brazil's still an option. They close February 28th. So we could be talking here in a couple of weeks where Arturo Cabral is no longer part of this roster, and then this Belotti signing will make a little bit more sense at the time than it does now. I know people point to his age; he's 31, yada yada yada. And to be brutally honest with you, I'm okay with that. I
Yeah.
don't really care much about the age in terms of, the player's only going to be here for 6 months. This
Yeah.
is not a player you're investing, $20 million on, and a player that doesn't have the quality and you don't expect them to be here long. So I don't really mind. It's 6 months. Hopefully he can add to the team. Obviously, I do think he will make his presence felt. Now it's hard for me to come out here and tell you, yeah, I expect goals. It's been fucking years since the guy scored goals. But once upon a time, he was a hell of a player. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that playing in Benfica, being in the Champions League, is something that'll motivate him and spark something inside him to perform back at that level.
Yeah, I think that there's also a group of people that are hoping this is a Jonas 2.0 in terms of productivity and goal
I don't know.
scoring.
Listen.
In terms of productivity and goal scoring,
A-
Chris.
Anybody, look, anybody. I think I've seen that comparison already, and I don't like it. Anybody making that comparison is lazy. Okay, because Jonas was a player um that was scoring goals. He scored goals at Valencia. He never stopped scoring goals. Yeah, the hiccup, as I said before in this podcast many years ago when we first acquired him, and thank goodness Nuno Santos um, wasn't a fan because he kept getting into fights with Banega, and they lit each other's Ferraris on fire. It was never a question of whether the guy could play or not. I don't think Jonas ever dropped off as much as Belotti has. Belotti never scored as much as Jonas once did. I understand that they both played at their national teams, yada yada yada. But Jonas was scoring at Valencia when Valencia was still a pretty decent team in La Liga. You know what I mean? Belotti was doing it at Torino. He moved to Roma and stopped scoring. Hasn't scored since. So I just think that Jonas is a totally different player than what Belotti is. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I hope that he finds something as Jonas did. Jonas lit it up and turned something on when he arrived. Yeah, in terms of that, yeah, I hope and I'm hopeful that's the case. But as far as players, they're not comparable, bro. Totally different player. I think
Yeah.
you're being disrespectful. Not you, saying you in general. I think whoever does that is being disrespectful towards Jonas.
I don't think the comparison is like for like and skill set. I just think that it's all right. So it's a guy at the, the second half of his career, uh, hasn't scored much. Perhaps in a position where he needs somewhere else to revive his career or to get back into a level. I mean, he's not 35 or 36. He's 31, I believe. So maybe that's where the comparison draws the similarities. I don't think it's the fact that they're because Jonas in terms of technique, that is a zero Belletti.
Belotti.
Belotti. For this,
I call them Bello Golos.
Bello
Bello
Golos.
Golos. Let's
From
hope that's the
from
case.
your mouth to God's ears. The other one was Samuel Dahl, left back, young left back that we picked up from Roma on the loan, or an option to buy, and I think that this is just a test. I think there's I don't know much about this kid. I don't know how good he is, but I think that Benfica is anticipating losing Carreras at the end of the season. So this could be a buy to see if it works out. Not to mention that we lost Best and we need somebody at left back because we can't be going.
I don't like the price.
Dude,
I don't like the price.
What's
but
the buy price?
It's 10 mil.
10
mil, and they get 20% of a future transfer.
Mm.
I don't like the price, but the players, he's a pesky little SOB. He's very tenacious on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, yeah, I don't think he's gonna be Carreras or he's gonna be a Grimaldo type, but defensively he's good and I think there's definitely doubts on him, but let's not all forget everybody right now is in love with Carreras, but we all had doubts
Yeah.
Carreras for it wasn't even, I mean, so much so his name wasn't even, it wasn't even Carreras when he joined us. You know what I mean? It was Fernandez, and then he's like, "Oh shit, let me change it to Carreras." And
Carreras,
yeah,
because that's what I'm gonna be doing, running Carreras up and down this line.
And now he's all made us fall in love with him. So
Yeah.
I don't know what the situation with this kid is, and to be brutally honest, guys, eh, let's call a spade a spade. If Carreras is healthy, he's gonna play.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? So you might not see a lot of this kid, but from what I've seen and stuff, he's good defensively, and that at least leaves me
yeah,
a little bit tranquilo
Yeah.
because yo, at the very end, the first thing the defender's supposed to do is defend, right?
Yeah.
And I know I could throw him in there and he'll be okay defensively.
Yeah.
I know it won't be a tapit. So
yeah.
we'll see.
The one that's head scratcher for me, Chris, is Bruma, right? We all know that Bruma lines up on the left hand side. On the left hand side, we already have our Turkoglu and we got an emergent Sheldrup. Why would we go get Bruma? Why wouldn't we get somebody for the for the right side to kind of fill in the gaps where when Di Maria won't be there.
With Bruma, I mean, listen. I think everybody's being a little bit unfair. Did you just play crickets?
Yeah. I was waiting for an answer from you, and like I was
Yeah,
silenced.
because I'm trying to read all the comments from the guys, and then you come at me, and I'm like, oh shit, I think he came to me. But look, man, I think we've all grown so accustomed to bitching and complaining about everything Benfica does that now we have to knock everything. In Bruma, a lot of people are complaining because of his age. He's 30, he's 30. So guys, first of all, and this
Doesn't
goes to
bother
you,
me.
Diogo. This goes to you, Diogo. I love you and shit. But stop. Age is just it is what it is, man. I want a player that's going to come in and be an option. Okay. When Di Maria is not available, or even if he's available, we all scream on here all the time that he needs to be rotated. I think you started the podcast with that we need to be managed properly. Now it gives you the flexibility of moving Arto Kulu to the right, even Sheldru. Bruma, I'm pretty sure, can play at the right. Very speedy player. It has very good one-on-one ability. A guy that's had a really good season in Portugal this year. Arguably, um, he's in the conversation. Probably the best winger so far throughout the season as a totality of what they've done so far until this point. So I think he's a player that's going to come in. He's going to help the team out. But 6.5 million, man, for a guy that is what I expect to be a rotation guy. If you told me Benfica's acquiring Bruma to come be the key piece on this team and be the go-to guy, I'd have a problem with it. But if it's a guy that's coming in, it's going to be another guy that the coach has an opportunity to pick from, as opposed to going out and getting a player that's 18 and 19, a player that's going to be ready in 2-3 years. Benfica need players for now, for this weekend, for the next weekend, and the weekend after that. There's 6 months left. Benfica is 6 points back. If Sporting trips up, Benfica will be right back in the conversation. They need players that are ready to go now, not players that are going to take
Yep.
6 months, 8 months, a year to adapt. So,
Agreed.
look, not everybody you're going to get is going to be an 18-year-old superstar. Okay, it's just this is what building a roster looks like, and Bruma being a piece that you're able to call on, a piece that you go and Murense at home, Di Maria, no need to play. We play Bruma. Like this is an excellent option rather than having a kid that is nowhere near ready to play at this level yet.
Yep. Yeah. Look, I get it. I just hope that he could play on the right hand side. But that's for Laj to figure out, not for us. I guess we could just hear and criticize and play Monday morning quarterback.
Let's say that last part again, Alfredo. What was that part again?
No, that's for Laj to. If he could play on the right, then I'm good with it. But that's for Laj to figure it out.
Yeah, I listen, man. If you can play on the right, you can play on the left. Whether you're as effective, that's another question. But you'll be able to play. You know, good players, man. They good players. They always find a spot on the field, and good players always
Yep.
figure out a way.
Yep.
I see Ivan here, another 30-year-old. Who cares? Di Maria's 36. Do his goals not count? You know what I mean? Otamendi's 34, 35.
Yeah, as long as they could score goals.
As long as they could perform. As long as they could perform. I could care less what your age is, man. You know what I mean? In a perfect world, we'd all go sign 22-year-old super, but Benfica doesn't even sign those. We got to sign them and develop them. And so, would you guys want a 30-year-old that's ready to go on Saturday, or would you want an 18-year-old that's ready to go
a month and a half from now
in July of 2026?
July of 2026.
I mean, exactly. And then it's like, oh, we don't win title. Come on, man. We can't. I see a lot of these comments all the time,
Chris,
on Twitter or whatever.
Chris,
and it baffles me, Alfredo. I'm sorry, bro.
Let me pause you real quick to say goodbye to our friends at Pema Media. If you want to continue listening to our podcast, you could find it on our podcast aggregators. Thank you for listening. All right, Chris, go ahead.
Appreciate it. Yeah, this is one event, man, because I hear this all the time. Benfiquistas Benfiquistas get mad, right? And I saw my boy Evo said before, just hearing Alfredo say that Carreras is expected to leave in the summer makes me want to throw up, right? And so Benficas get mad when we say or others say Benfica is a selling club. Benfiquistas get mad when we don't hold on to players, right? Benfiquistas get mad when we don't win championships. And it's like, bro, how do you expect to do all that, right? Win championships with players that aren't ready to go now. And then by the time they're ready to go, you're selling them anyway. So I rather go get a guy like Bruma. Go get a guy like that you all love. I'm not in love with him. You know that. Arsenis, right? Who is not a superstar, but is a guy that's going to be here 4 or 5 years, 6, 7, whatever it is, right? Because he's still relatively young. But it's going to perform, right? Bruma, if he's here for 2 years, because he signed a 2.5 year deal, if he plays the next 2.5 years where he's an option, he's actually starting some games and giving breathers to Schaldrup and Di Maria. I hope Di Maria's not here next year, even though I do like the player, but I do think it's time to cut the cord and let him go. But if this is a rotation piece, what's so bad about this?
Yep.
What's so bad about this? You're gonna have superstars at every position, but Benfica doesn't have superstars. They got one guy, Carreras.
Yeah.
Schaldrup, we don't know.
I just think
They
that
got one guy.
if Bruma could be deployed on the right hand side, I'm good. On the left hand side, and if he takes minutes away from Sheldrup especially, I don't know how I feel about that. Because I think that I'm just saying if he takes minutes away from Sheldrup on the left hand side, when Sheldrup is emerging now and finally, he's out on loan, comes back, waits his turn, finally gets a chance, is making the best out of it. And then you got Bruma coming in right now and taking minutes away from Sheldrup. I don't know how I feel about that.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Right.
But if he's producing, it's a different conversation.
If he gets, and I'm not saying that's going to be the case because he might very well play on the right and give Di Maria breathe. As I said, he's a rotation piece. I don't think he came here to start every single game. Right. He's a rotation piece. They're gonna rotate with Artur Kuglu. I think the two starters are gonna be Sheldrup, Di Maria, and the other two guys are gonna rotate in and out. But even if that was the case, let's assume that's the case. He's gonna come in, take away minutes from Sheldrup. But Benfica's winning, and Benfica finds a way. Like I don't give a shit. Does it make a difference to you?
No, I mean if he's producing, no, I don't care.
I don't care. And that's the thing. Benfica is a fallen level player. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is the symbol on your chest. That crest on your chest is Benfica. Win games. Win the Campeonato. I don't care if it's 30-year-old Bruma, if it's 18-year-old Schaldrup. Alfredo. Makes absolutely no difference to me, bro.
Yeah.
And if Schaldrup keeps performing the way he's been playing of late, okay, which he didn't do shit against Real Madrid, but it's okay. Right, came off the bench is different. But the other 4 games that he had started, he's actually played really well. He keeps performing at that level, bro. It's gonna be hard, man, for any coach to keep him off the field. I mean, you might not like Lodge, but I don't think Lodge is blind. You know what I'm saying? And so, kid keeps performing, he'll play. Now, it's a good luxury to have a guy like Bruma when you need a change of pace. You need someone to change the game in the second half because the game is tight. This is a luxury. For
Yep.
$6.5 million. Hey man, what do you thought? You're gonna go buy Kravitsvili, whatever his name is, that wound up going to PSG? That you're not buying those types of players. So Bruma for $6.5 million, that's actually decent money. And obviously he hasn't played a game at Benfica yet. We'll see. But I'm willing to bet now that would be money better spent than the $20 million on Cabral.
Yeah. Let me want to read some comments here. Diogo Reis says, last week we were crying about rotation, but we need to rotate with players who are ready to perform. Agreed. Nelson Cine says...
Diogo's finally, after all these years, he's finally learning.
Nelson is saying right back is the biggest gap we have, and I agree, even though Auschwitz could play there, Miles Araújo could play there. But not a natural guy. Not a natural guy.
I don't care. I think that's Austin's best position. So you got 3 guys: Araújo, Ba, and Austin. So I mean, right back they're okay, guys. They're okay.
Chico Marcelino is saying from now on we should rotate Bruma and Sheldrup on the left and Di Maria and Artur Koglu on the right. Yeah, you could do that too.
Yeah, that could very well be the case.
Uncle Rico says 75 minutes we tied / losing. Bruma comes in and he's going to create the 100%.
Yeah, 100%. He's got speed. He's got the one thing you can't teach, guys, speed. He's going to change the game. He's going to affect the game because of that alone.
Diogo Reis says we need depth in all sectors if we're going to make a push in the Champions League and the Taça de Portugal as well as the league. Kevin Martin says Lindelof is on a free in the summer.
Yes, and so is Nelson Smith potentially, not potentially, but as of right now, they're both free agents. Benfica, as a matter of fact, is start negotiating with them as of now. Nelson says adopted Tomas to play right back says something. He says, imagine taking your best center back and having him play. Guys, your best center back is Otamendi. I don't know what the hell you guys are watching. I get it. You all love the homemade guys. Your best center back is still Otamendi. Majority of the goals that Benfica's been leaking over the last 9 weeks now, it's all on him or Anthony Silva. Very promising center back, but he is not your best center back today, guys. Guys got to get that out of your head. Go ahead, Alfredo. Lindelof, yeah, Ivan. Lindelof could be. I talk to you about this all the time. Lindelof could be Otamendi's replacement at the end of the year. Otamendi goes, and you bring him in.
Yeah, Nelson's also saying Bruma's having the best season of his career. He's putting up some numbers, yeah, for sure. Diogo Reis Bruma's on a 3-year contract.
2.5 year contract. 2.5 years.
Yeah.
2.5 years. The rest of this year and 2 more years.
Kevin Martins is asking if Chris, for you, is Bruma the first guy you would have taken from Braga?
Well, it's obviously him or Ricardo Horta. But again, guys, you complaining about paying $6.5 million for a 30-year-old. What's Horta? 29? You think you could get Horta for $6.5 million? If you tell me you can get the two of them for the same price, then Horta is my choice. But you know what? For this Benfica, where we talked about it so much here on the podcast, you need guys that are going to attack the defense and create and get on top of the defense, get the defense on the back foot. Bruma's the perfect guy for this. Benfica's lacked speed on the wings. And that's not to say that Horta's not a better player, right? But Bruma has the one thing that Benfica's been missing all year.
Yep, speed. Yeah. That's all I got, guys. That's all we got.
That's it. There's so many comments. That's all you got.
There's some comments, but there's a lot of back and forth between the chat, between the guys. Guys are engaged, which is a good thing. But yeah, comments about Belotti, whatever his name is. Bolotish.
Manuel Acuna says, in a perfect world, I would love to have Roger Fernandes. I mean, I'm missing something here.
Who's Roger Fernandes, bro?
It's got to be a B team kid.
I don't know.
Who says Bruma, Pavlidis, and Artur Kuglu will look like a Braga front three.
Hey, I don't know. Pavlidis seems to have waken up. I don't know. I hope that if he continues his streak going and he finally is getting a little bit confident, maybe we'll see the Pavlidis that we were
Roger
expecting.
Fernandes from Braga.
The super young kid, the 17-year-old.
Is that the kid? No,
is the kid that Carvalhal debuted at 16 years old.
You sure that's him, or is that the kid that came up through Benfica B?
No. Roger Fernandes. I don't know if he's 19 or Ivan. I think he might be like 7. He might be 18, I think.
Let me see. Roger Fernandes. I think that's the center back he's talking about.
No. He's a winger. He's a guy that he debuted
he's 19.
He's 19, right? He debuted with Carvalhal a couple years back. And he was 16 or 17 years old, if I remember.
5'7", dude.
He's small, but he's gifted. He's got feet. He's very quick. Yeah. I don't know. I think Salazar is a good Braga player also. I like him. I don't know. I wouldn't touch anybody in
Nah, he's
Braga's
not. He's
defense.
not being feed, dude. That guy. That guy's. He's got that pitbull attitude, but he's not. He's not Benfica caliber.
Yeah. In another news, former Braga player Musrati signed for Monaco.
Yes, sir. The guy that many of us wanted for years. I mean,
Yeah,
Benfica,
for years.
and that's going to be playing. And then the other thing, just to forget, because I can't forget that. I'd be remiss if I missed this. I almost did. Um, Benfica bought Bruma for 6.5 mil, and Bruma's suspended for the next 2 European games, so he's not playing against Monaco no matter what.
Yeah.
Sheik says Salazar is better than Koksu.
I like Salazar. I like Salazar Chico. I thought that Benfica missed out on Thomas Handel, who was rumored to go to Porto, but things fell through.
Who's that? That was Height, the guy from
from Vitória Guimarães,
Guimarães.
man. He's a young
like
kid.
him.
He's
I like him.
Portuguese
I like him.
international. He's good. He's
But-
good. He's a good
But
player,
dude,
man.
But
Or
Manu, bro.
the other dude from Famalicão. What's his name? Gustavo Sá.
Stop.
I like him.
They sold the other player. They sold Mustafa, whatever his name was. They sold him.
Who did?
The lefty Famalicão. Remember, there was two guys. It was Sa. And
Oh,
what's his name? Yusuf.
Yusuf. Yeah.
They sold
They
Yusuf.
sold him cheap.
They sold Yusuf.
I read that they sold
Yeah,
him
they
cheap
sold
to a Portuguese team. They probably wanted double digits. I think they sold him for like 6 something. I don't know.
I like Handel, but you know what? I really liked what I saw. I know it's one game from Manu. And Manu in one game is already our best Manu
I
ever.
do too.
Because I know we've had a bunch of Manus. I think he's the best one to play
Yeah,
for the club.
and look, I think
after one
that there was people on the chat saying before that Tino's incredible. And look, I'll give you this much: Tino is probably the best 6 in the league in terms of the defensive side of the ball. But when the modern game expects you to play on both sides of the ball equally well, Tino lacks on the offensive side of the ball, and I think that hurts us.
Just go watch the game against Juventus. He was perfect, getting in
He was perfect.
passing lanes, but then defensively, I'm saying
defensively,
he was perfect. He kept getting on but then he'd give the ball up right away, right back to the opponent, like
Yeah.
and then he'd have to defend again, and then give it he'd turn the ball over left,
Fucking shit.
and it was just like, you take it, no, you take it, no, you take it.
I think that
but yeah, if Tino had that aspect, and bro, it's tiresome. We're beating a dead horse, right?
Guys,
Because we talk about this for years. If Tino had that side of his game down, bro, he wouldn't be at Benfica anymore.
Guys, don't forget that Manu is originally a center back, so he has that defensive aspect to his game, but he's got vision. He's calm. He sees a pass. He doesn't take too long on the ball. He just moves the ball along, man. And I like that. I like that type of player. He's just smart. Sometimes you just need a little touch to get the ball going where it's supposed to go. You don't need to make it too complicated. You don't need to have too many touches on the ball. You just need to know where your pass is going to go before you even get the ball. And I think that Manu is that type of player from what I've seen both this game at Benfica and what I'd seen him at Guimarães. So,
man, I gotta like calm myself down, because I'm like, yo, dude, I try to put it in the back of my mind. I don't want to think about Manu, but bro, I'm starting to fall for the guy. I gotta chill out a minute.
this has only been 90 minutes, bro.
I know. That's why I'm saying I gotta relax. I gotta slow down.
Yeah. That's all we got. Get out of here, Chris.
I do agree with Shiku. It's funny. Once Hugo hears this, he's gonna comment, because me and Hugo talk, like, he's like, yo, who does he remind you of? I said, Matik.
Yeah.
He goes, me
Just
too.
calm, just super calm.
But that's because he's tall and lanky too.
Yeah. Super calm, Like you look at his face, it seems to always have the same facial expression on. I
Yeah,
don't
no
know.
matter what.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
exactly. You're
matter
just like, all
exactly.
right. But yeah, but dude,
All right. Well,
let's
if we
hope.
missed anything, guys, hit us up.
Yeah,
Twitter, you know what to do. Smash the like button. Appreciate you all, man. We'll be here again next week. Dave will be back.
yeah.
Hopefully
Hopefully,
feeling better.
yeah.
And wait, so hold on. So we play Saturday and what?
We play
Tuesday?
Saturday and Wednesday, so let's be back on Wednesday. Let's
That's a
set a
good
date for
idea, Alfred.
Wednesday. What do you think?
That's a decision like Lodge right there. Assertive and
Yeah, let's do
yeah,
Wednesday.
that's
Let's do
yes.
Wednesday after the Monaco game because I don't think it makes much sense to be just talking about the Moreirense game. So let's do Wednesday night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fellas,
Evo, abraço, meu amigo.
always
All the
always a
Freddies.
pleasure,
Big
Freddy's.
hug.
Thank you for being involved in the chat. Thank you for keeping up with us and everyone that's gonna listen to us a little later. Thank you for your support as always. Take
We
care.
gotta get Uncle Rico on the podcast.
Uncle Rico?
Get him to come to my
Anytime.
house. Yeah, you gotta
Anytime
get him
Uncle
to come
Rico
on.
needs to come. But he needs to
O
use
gajo
his
não sabe-
he needs
O
to use
gajo não
his
sabe
real
dar um
name.
pé numa bola. Sabe dar
That's
um pé numa
okay.
bola, but he's a good guy.
That's okay. That's okay. All right, y'all.
Arrivederci.
See ya. Bye.